You're tuned into Meeting of the Minds of South Florida on K1NG Radio with Paula and Chris.
Every time they come around, something is about to go down. Meeting of the minds in FLA, yeah. Listen to what they say.
Meeting of the Minds is sponsored by ConceitedClothing.com and Lavish Bay by Tamara on Etsy.com. Well, I can't believe my chatterbox Chris don't have anything to say. But welcome. Tonight we have a special guest by the name of Barbara from Footprints to Success. And I just want to she's going to explain to you exactly what Footprints to Success Clubhouse is about. But I just want to give you a little idea. You know how you have that one family member that have a cognitive disability, whether it was by birth or it was, a stroke or some traumatic injury or car accident that affects them, their brain, and their, cognitive abilities has been delayed for whatever reason. And you always go to the house and find that person in the back room that never comes out only to shower or to eat food. Well, I actually had one in my family member. It was a cousin that lived at my grandmother's house. But that was that made my day to go sit with her, because at the end of the day, she was very, very talented. She's the one that taught me how to crochet. She taught me how to knit. She taught me all of that stuff. So, but nowadays we have resources. We have resources where we can have those family members to go to learn day-to-day living, how to clean, prepare them for employment, one that fits their needs, that's not too stressful for them, and it won't cause them to have a meltdown. So tonight I have a guest on the phone by the name of Barbara, and she's going to give you a little history about herself, as well as explain to you what the Footprints to Success Clubhouse is all about. She's going to also give us information on individuals that are needing the services, how to become one of, I'm not going to say clients, one of the family members, because her clubhouse is actually like a family house. I mean, it's a really loving place. They do a lot of activities to interact with the individuals, as well as the staff. So it's like a big house, with your sisters and brothers of all nationalities, full of love. So I want everyone to help me welcome Miss Barbara. How are you, Miss Barbara, tonight?
Very well, thank you. And thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on. Chris and I are, delighted to, have you here. And I was just giving them a little brief about, when you have someone with cognitive disabilities. So I worked in the building where the clubhouse was at. I sat on the board for the clubhouse. But it's just that I don't know. I got a love for the clubhouse. I visited every morning before I would even go in my office. I would come down lunchtime, interact with, the people that were there, including the staff members. I'm just a people person, and it's just like a homely feeling to be there and to see from when I first, started visiting there, and to see how the members have grown, how they, come a long way, because a lot of them, they're afraid. They're in a different setting from home, what they're used to, and to see them interact, to see them do karaoke, to see them cook, clean, do puzzles. So Miss Barbara is here to explain what the clubhouse is about, and she'll give information on how to become a member, or if you have a family member that needed the services, she'll be the one to help us with that. So, Miss Barbara, tell us a little about what the Clubhouse. If you want, you could tell us, what you do, what is your part in the Clubhouse, and then you could tell us exactly what the Clubhouse is in your different areas.
Okay, so I am the new founder of Footprint to Success Clubhouse. We're in our 10th year of operation. Our Clubhouse is a psychosocial rehabilitation program for individuals living with mental illness. The Clubhouse members participate in social, educational, and vocational activities that promote self-reliance. Trained staff work side by side with Clubhouse members towards reaching their goals. I need to say, too, that the Clubhouse, they're not called clients or they're not called consumers. They're called members. Because as members, they are an integral part and an active participant in all of the programs that we provide. So none of the operations of the Clubhouse is done without member participation. The members help with finance, data entry. They help with collecting information for different grants, and they also participate in health and wellness programs. So there's a lot of different activities that they participate in during the day. And the program is a voluntary program. Most of the people that come to the Clubhouse come from 7 o'clock in the morning to 3 in the afternoon, Monday through Friday. They really feel a sense of belonging being at the Clubhouse. So,
okay, so
the Clubhouse works with different units. So
okay.
when they come in the morning, they are given on a whiteboard all of the different activities for the day. And then they actually sign up for what activities they want to participate in.
So when you say activities, what type of activities are the members getting involved in? Just to give the listeners an idea of how this program is important.
Okay, so when you realize that there are 500 million people globally that have a mental illness,
wow, okay.
that means that 1 out of 4 families bears a tremendous cost of helping a person throughout the remainder of their lives with a mental illness.
Okay.
People with mental illness have a life expectancy of 10 to 20 years less than the general population. These deaths are usually due to cardiovascular disease, respiratory, or diabetes, or infection. So one of the programs that we have at the Clubhouse is a wellness and health program. We find this program to be vital for a lot of our members. We offer yoga and meditation, nutritional cooking, daily walk, and gym membership.
Wow, okay.
So I think that's really important. We also have a membership unit where they learn how to answer phones, welcome visitors and members, and help with mailing, copying, and shredding. In the education department, which I think is really essential, many of the people who come to the Clubhouse have, started college, but due to their mental illness, had to resign from college due to their mental illness. So we help them to get back into college. So we have a reentry program where we help them reach their educational goals. So that's another program. Obviously, there's also the employment piece of this. When you realize that there are 85% of the people with mental illness are unemployed, 40% are homeless, and 24% are incarcerated. So the people that come to the Clubhouse learn the basic life management skills, and they're able to build and sustain social relationships. They manage their finances there, and they seek education and employment opportunities and focus on self-care.
Ms. Barbara, let me ask you, I want to go back and look at those numbers. Why do you think those numbers are so high amongst our society when there's so many resources out there for people to take advantage of, in your opinion?
I don't think there are that many programs that are available to them quite like this.
Okay.
I think that the challenge here is that the stigma of the disease causes a domino effect.
Okay.
And this domino effect causes a lot of families to plunge into poverty. That's number one.
Wow.
Also,
Okay.
that the people that are suffering from this are also isolated. So that's why we see the high numbers of people that take their lives each year.
Wow.
It's kind of sad, you know? And
Yes.
anyway, I think that by focusing in on only the disease and not looking at the rest of the problems that people have that have a mental illness is worrisome, to say the least. That's
Okay.
why I think psychosocial rehabilitation program that cares for the entire body, you know, is more important than just taking care of the treatment piece of it.
Okay. And let me ask you, when you say psychosocial rehabilitation programs, what exactly do you mean by that? Because some listeners may be unfamiliar with that terminology.
So it treats the whole person instead of just looking at and addressing the symptoms of mental illness.
Okay.
The focusing on recovery is, you know, really important, and it connects also with people with limited resources that they need.
Okay.
So we do that with housing. We help them with housing.
Okay.
We
Wow.
help them with case management. We help
Okay.
them with medication management. So there's a lot of things that we do, but we are non-clinical.
Okay.
We do not provide clinical services.
Okay.
And what I'd like to look at it is that when a person comes into the clubhouse, they leave their disease, their diagnosis at the door.
Okay.
Because we're really about recovering and moving them forward.
Okay. All right. Beautiful. Beautiful.
So, Ms. Barbara, when you train them for, walk us through training them for employment. How do you help the members get prepared for employment, for interviews and things like that?
Well, I think that they learn from working side by side with staff members. So if we have data that needs to be entered into the computer on an Excel spreadsheet, they're learning computer skills. If they're answering the phone, they're learning to be a receptionist. So there's many jobs within the clubhouse that they're doing that is really preparing them for work outside of the clubhouse. So our employment rate at this point in time is 42%. So that means that 1 out of every 6 members of the clubhouse are employed.
Wow.
Okay, so the supported employment program. What is the supported employment program?
The supported employment program, we teach the members how to interview for a job. We do mock interviews. We teach them, we help them write a resume, and we go out with the member to the interview. And then we have discussions afterwards about what went well, what didn't go well, and we help them.
Okay, so the transitional employment, can you explain to the listeners exactly what the transitional?
Transitional employment is a program that Clubhouse owns. So we go out and find employers that are willing to hire our members for 1 to 6 months, from 6 months to 9 months. And what this program does is to help them build a resume. So if they've never worked before, this is a great opportunity for them to work 6 to 9 months in a job and see if they're like being a waitress or being a cashier. And if they don't like it, they can then find another job in an attorney's office, filing or doing other tasks. So every 6 to 9 months, they switch out and go to another transitional employment program. And then once they feel really comfortable working, then they look for supported employment.
Okay. Let me ask you, Ms. Barber, with this population, what is the benefit of them actually being employed?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
With what is the biggest benefit about them getting employed? Does it provide some type of joy for them? What can you explain that to the listeners about them going out and seeking employment?
I think it's really important that, I think that work is essential to recovery.
Right. Okay.
It's a
I agree
basic
with you.
human need. And I think that working helps them get out of poverty.
Okay.
It helps with their cognitive abilities, and it helps to impact their self-esteem.
Okay.
So, I know about it because I frequent there and I use, I was always there when we were
Yes.
in the office. How do you prepare the clients? Walk us through what it's like when you prepare the clients daily for independent living. What are some of the things that they do to prepare them for independent living, whether they qualify for, independent housing, or if it helps them, because a lot of them live with, the elderly. And how does it prepare them when they go home to be able to, function at home as well?
Okay, so when the person comes into the clubhouse for the first time, they're given a tour of the clubhouse. And and then we go through each one of the units with them, so that they understand what's required in each one of the units. And then, if the program resonates with them, and they decide to join, then they go through an orientation period where they're for every unit. We have 4 units. They spend 2 weeks in each one of the units. They decide after probably a couple of days as to which staff member that they want to work with.
Mm-hmm.
And as they work with that person, they each get to know one another, because that's what this is about, really. It's finding out, the likes, the dislikes of the person, or getting to know each other.
Okay.
Because I think that gives them a sense of belonging.
Right.
And from there, we find out what they like, what they don't like, what their talents are, what their strengths are.
Okay.
And from there, we go on to developing goals for them. And obviously, we do it with them, so they're really developing the goals.
Mm.
And that's really what we do.
Okay.
So one of my favorite things is karaoke. What made you decide to put that into the program?
Well, I think it's very self-expression. I think it's very important.
No, it's beautiful.
I think, and it gives them a sense they love that. They love poetry. They do a lot of that. And so self-expression is really important. But they love seeing themselves on YouTube. We have YouTube videos of them.
Okay.
And one of the things that we did, Clubhouse International had a talent show, and one of our members participated in the talent show, and he did quite well.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Miss Barbara, I heard that you guys have an aspiring.
Wonderful. The things that they could do and they can aspire to be.
I heard that you guys have an aspiring rapper at the clubhouse. Is that true?
But
Chris said he heard that you have an inspiring rapper at the clubhouse.
I do.
I heard he's pretty good.
Wonderful, yes. Yes, matter of fact, we signed him up to go to Broward College, the music department.
Okay.
For a couple of months.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay, that's
cool.
beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay.
Cool,
Right.
because the reason we're referring to the individual as him or his is because HIPAA laws. We're not allowed to call names and things like that. So it's not that we don't want to recognize him, but because of HIPAA laws, we're not allowed to tell the individual name. I have seen some of his work. I've seen
good.
him actually perform,
Yes.
and his music is very, very positive. It takes he really pulls you into where he's at when he's performing.
Great
so
storytelling.
It's really, really good. So I'm grateful and I'm proud that he is into music at Broward College.
Right. And one of the other things that we did during the summer during the pandemic is that the other members got together and did a fundraiser.
Wow.
And the fundraiser consisted of his music being
Oh.
played,
Okay.
and then asked, saying that we all have talents, we all have abilities, this is his talent, and this is his ability,
Wow.
and we'd like to share it with you.
Okay.
And they did a whole monologue on it, and then he began singing, and they raised money.
Wow.
And their money helped them with the next part of their fundraiser, which was an art puzzle display,
Okay.
which they also did via the internet,
Okay.
and they raised money for that. So they're a very dynamic group.
Okay.
I'll tell you.
Let me ask you, Ms. Barber, what made you want to start the Footprints Clubhouse? Like, what inspired you to say, wake up one day and be like, you know what, I want to create the Clubhouse? Like, can you tell us like a little bit of your backstory to the listeners?
Sure. So by trade, I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for the past 40 years. I've worked in various different areas of nursing. But one of the things when I was in psychiatric nursing was that so many families and members and clients themselves wanted employment. And so many people were denying them of employment and also of an education because they felt that they couldn't sustain the pressures of being employed or the pressure of going back to school. So, and I felt that that wasn't really a recovery-oriented program. And
Okay.
a couple of years later, I had attended Fountain House in New York City, which was the first clubhouse.
Okay.
And I saw that there, they actually had a program that was dedicated towards people with a mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
And then in recovery. And it's very important as part of the recovery process.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
Wow.
I know the pandemic is going on. So one of the things that I know the Clubhouse does, we have somebody that would donate suits because in the process of preparing them for employment, they have like a store where their clothes, slightly used clothes, are donated.
Right.
I mean, some very nice women's suits as well as men's suits, name brand suits, that are donated to the members to help them, everyday clothes as well, but to also help them and show them how they're supposed to dress for an interview. There are other things that were that have been donated, hygiene products, and a lot of the members, Footprints, when they get there, they eat breakfast,
Lunch.
and lunch, and then they have snacks.
Right.
And some of these members, when they go home on the weekend, because they're literally living with elderly people, they really don't have much resources for a meal. So one of the things that is very well appreciated, I'll put the website up later. If you can make a donation, a lot of people say, well, I only have 50 cents and I'm embarrassed to donate 50 cents. 50 cents, just think, 10 people donate 50 cents. So if you can donate 50 cents, you can donate $1. Anything is appreciated.
Right.
Like my grandmother used to say, every mickle makes a muckle. So if you can donate what you have to help them, this is a nonprofit organization, and a nonprofit, the funding is very limited, and the care that they provide to the members, it super succeeds what the funding is.
Right.
So donations are appreciated. Ms. Barbara, with the pandemic going on, are you guys accepting outside donations as far as clothing?
No, not clothing, but we are accepting food donations.
Okay.
Food donations?
We have given out 336 care packages to our members
Wow.
and the immediate community
Okay. That's
during the
amazing.
pandemic.
Okay.
And
So
let
what
me,
we do is we have members come into the clubhouse, they pack the food,
Okay.
and then the person pulls up in their car, they open the pack, their trunk, and then put the food in there, the packaged food.
Wow.
And
Okay.
are you
That's amazing.
accepting hygiene products as well?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So, you know, if you can't donate, she's gonna give you the information, the location. I'm gonna also post it. But if you can't donate, you know, the products, and if you want to give her a Walmart gift card, that's really appreciated. Or you can donate through their website.
Right.
You know, it's a time where we all need to come
You gotta
together
together.
and
It's
help each other.
community.
I may not can't give $100, $200, but I know I can give $5, $10, $1. You know, if we all just rotate and donate 50 cents a dollar
It goes
when
a long
it's
way.
needed, it goes a long way.
It's a long way.
It really goes a long way. I drink sodas. So, you know, I could not have a couple of sodas and donate a couple of dollars, you know, because it's healthier. I could swap my sodas for water. So if we just all, you know, try to come together, at the end of the day, we're of one race, and that's the human race. We need to be mindful. Times of hard. We've gone through, you know, I really don't discuss politics, but we've gone through a rough election. Whoever you voted for, that's your business. At the end of the day, you're still a human being,
Right.
and I appreciate all human beings.
Right.
You know, regardless. And I'm not praying for one person, I'm praying for all. No matter how, you know, things are. So, Miss Barbara, let me ask you, how does a person, if a family member have someone that was interested in a program, before I ask that question, do you only service Broward County, or do you accept members from Dade as well?
Good question. Good
No,
question.
we only serve, because of our contract with the state
Okay.
and the county, we can only serve Broward County.
Okay. All right.
And one other question: is there a footprint in Dade County that services Dade County? Are you aware of?
Yes, there is.
Okay, so I'm gonna touch bases with Barbara after the show. I'll post the Dade County location in the morning, just in case anyone is interested. You know, it's a very wonderful program. It's not like some programs where they just drop the person off, the person sits in the corner and have nothing to do. They really interact with the staff as well as each other. They have a lot of volunteers that come in from Nova, Southeastern University, and other, you know, organizations that come in. So it's a great program to have a loved one to attend in the daytime, you know, to help them build their self-esteem, be around people, learn how to, you know, communicate.
And continue to interact, because I think a lot of times this sector of the population is the kind of the population that family members, a lot of times, sometimes depending on the family, kind of forget about that person.
Yeah, they shun them away.
They shut them away. And I remember when growing up in Atlanta, there was a very prestigious family, and they had like 3 kids, but I only knew 2 of the kids. Apparently, they had another child that they kept locked in the back for 18, 20 years. And nobody knew that this kid had a sister.
Because of a disability.
Because of the disability. And the family
and you know
was
what?
so,
Things happen in life.
Right.
You know, we don't know why they happen. Sometimes we do know why they happen, but things happen. That doesn't mean if you have a child with a disability, that child is less loving than the one that doesn't have. You know, they're human beings. We don't need to. Some of us treat animals better than we treat people, and you know we shouldn't do that. Don't lock that loved one in the room, or if you're going to keep them in the room, go sit in the room and talk to them.
Right.
Like I mentioned in the beginning, I had a cousin that, you know, had a disability. I used to love to go over there, sit on the bed with her, and she used to knit and crochet beautiful.
Amen.
She taught me. Like that was my therapy, to sit there and talk to her. And when I walk in the house or she hear my voice, to see her face light up, do you know what that did for me? So, you know, if you just interact with your family member, you will be surprised that that's therapy to them. You will be able to, that's like helping them, you know, improving their social skills and
Cognitive
after a
skills.
while, even if you don't understand what they're saying, after a while being around them, you can look at them, you could tell what they're saying. So it's very important not to lock our loved ones in the room and to interact with them. Sometimes they're angry because they have no one around
Nobody
them.
to talk to. And
How much TV can you watch? And nowadays it's not that much good stuff on TV.
Nope.
So
And I have to say, I've been to Footprints, and I love what the program is, Miss Barbara. I love how the staff interacts with the members you guys have there, because I've seen a lot of the members transition where they're able to go to college, where they actually get jobs. They had one young man, he was learning how to bookkeep, and he did a great job. I think he could have balanced my books. It's just a lot of things. There's so many things, and I think a lot of times when people look at certain sections of the population, they feel like there's certain things people can't do, but everybody has the talent, and everybody has the gift. And sometimes, just people need love, people need opportunity. And that's the great thing about Footprints. It's not one of those places where people are just put in the corner. You guys, you do the karaoke. They're providing, transitional skills. They're providing the housing. And I think a lot of times when people hear clinical, that's everybody they focus on the clinical. But there's so many wraparound services that so many clients need, and so many members that you have need to be successful, because the therapist can only do so much. They come in 1 hour a week. But you guys are the ones really doing the heavy lifting. So my heart and my hat goes off to you guys, because you have a phenomenal program over there.
No, thank you so very much. I think, too, that, once I entered the program, I found that immediately they asked me when the group started. Because they're so in tune to that.
Right.
That that's what they want to do. So, we are extremely different. And when we go through, what we actually do, it takes them at least a couple of months to adjust to that, because you're so used to just telling their stories over and over again. So this is really about moving them forward.
Right.
It's giving them a sense of belonging and accomplishment. I think is very important to the recovery process.
Right. And honestly, I think that's all most of us want in life. We want to be acknowledged. We want somebody to say, hey, you're special, regardless of how you look, the color of your skin. I think everybody wants to be felt, accepted by some group, some sect, because I believe as human beings, that's what we want. And I think that's what you guys have created over there, because it is a family. And I like that you don't call the members clients, because that's so the common term that is so used in the community, but it's a member. And they feel like they're a part of something. And that's huge.
And they make really important decisions. It may be by consensus, but they write policies.
Okay.
They say who they want to admit to the clubhouse and who they don't. So they are a club.
Wow.
And it gives them a big sense of belonging just doing those types of activities.
So, Miss Barbara, correct me if I'm wrong. They once they are a member of the clubhouse, that's like a lifetime member, right?
Correct.
Okay. And say, for instance, you have a member that transitioned into the world and employed, and for some reason, things happen, life happens,
Right.
and they get into a little stupor. Are they allowed to come back to that program to get reboosted and, helped again?
Absolutely. We have someone just last week, after being out of the clubhouse for 6 years, came back.
Wow.
And he's now and he now attends like 3 or 4 days a week.
Wow.
So let me ask you,
What?
being out of the program for 6 years, do you think that the pandemic played a great part in him returning?
No, actually, he lost his job.
Okay.
Okay.
He was very upset and couldn't find another job. So he's going on an interview tomorrow.
Wow.
Oh, that's
okay, there you go.
He gets the job because, he was really impressed with the fact that he was, laid off. So
Okay.
So let me
he's
ask,
doing quite well.
for the individuals that's in Broward County and may have an interest, I'm going to ask you one question for Broward, and then I want to ask you a question for people that are in other states. How do you become a member of the clubhouse? What's the process?
Okay, so there's an eligibility form that needs to be completed.
Okay.
It's proof of age, right? They have to be 16 years or older. They need to be interested in attending the clubhouse. The membership is voluntary. They have to have a mental illness, but it could be co-occurring with substance abuse. And they must not pose a threat to our community.
Okay.
They must not what? I'm sorry.
Pose a threat.
Pose
Oh, okay, okay.
To our community.
Mhm.
Okay, so no violence in the clubhouse. And over the past 10 years, I've not had one incident of violence in the clubhouse.
Okay, that's good. So when they fill out this eligibility form, where do they fill out the form? Is it on your website?
It's on the website, but
Okay.
since we switched suites recently,
Mhm.
I don't have phone service. So everyone was given my phone number,
Okay.
and I then send them the eligibility form
Okay.
through the email.
Okay.
Okay, so
So
for
you can give out my cell phone number. That's no problem.
okay, so for anyone that's listening, I'm going to gather the information from Barbara. I'm going to post their website. I'm going to post that information on my personal Facebook page, as well as the Meeting of the Minds of South Florida Facebook page, and the Instagram page as well. We do have a YouTube channel. I will make a video with information about that. We also have a TikTok channel. I'm old. I'm learning how to work it.
Yeah, TikTok.
So yes, we got TikTok. So I'll do a little couple of TikTok videos, part 1, part 2, to give out information as well. For the program. Now, I know that footprints are in several places. Is it nationwide? How big is the...
Okay, so there's over 300 clubhouses.
Wow.
Nationally and internationally.
Okay.
Okay. That's huge.
Yes, so we're the only clubhouse in Broward County. In
Okay.
Dade County, there are 3.
Okay.
Wow.
And the next clubhouse, I think, is Naples.
Okay.
Okay.
So in Florida, there's 11 clubhouses in total.
Okay.
Okay, so let me ask you, is it all the clubhouses, are they called footprints?
They have different names, but they follow the clubhouse model. So
Okay.
Clubhouse International is the body for the clubhouse.
Okay.
And there's like 30 standards that need to be met.
Okay.
And once they're all met, that clubhouse can become accredited.
Okay.
Okay.
It's an accreditation process.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
And that's how that works. But the impact of clubhouses, I think that's what's really important. Because what we do when a person comes in is to find out from them how many times in the past year have you been hospitalized. And we think that every mental illness hospitalization costs $10,000. So the first year that they were in the clubhouse, if they were prior to coming to the clubhouse, if they were hospitalized 3 times, you figure that's about $30,000, right? So if they come to the clubhouse, if they're only hospitalized once, and it's for med adjustments, that is a huge saving to Broward County, right? Because they're not being hospitalized. And we do the same thing with incarceration. So if they've been incarcerated prior to coming to the clubhouse, and once they become members and they're active in the community, the incarceration rate is much lower than it was prior to. So that's the impact of clubhouses, besides the education, besides the employment. But I think that's very important from a society standpoint,
Okay.
I see.
right?
Okay.
So I can say, too, that the World Health Organization estimates that the cost of mental illness in 2013 was $1.7 trillion.
Wow.
They're claiming by 2030 it's expected to reach $6 trillion.
Wow.
Wow.
Unbelievable, I
That's
think.
huge.
That's why clubhouses are important.
Yes. Very much so.
So before we say thank you to Barbara, I would like to share a positive quote, because I always like to close with a positive quote. Disability is a matter of perception. If you can do just one thing well, you're needed by someone. So anyone with a disability, do not let your disability stop you.
Don't let it define you.
Please.
Don't let it define
It
you.
doesn't define who you are as an individual.
No.
At the end of the day, regardless if you have a disability, you are human. And you should be treated as such, no matter what happens.
Right.
So I want to thank all of our listeners for tuning in with us, for always supporting us. Oh, and for those of you that knew that I was detoxing from my coffee addiction that I picked up during the pandemic. How many days have it's almost been, tomorrow will make 2 weeks. I haven't had coffee.
2 weeks, 14 days.
So I'm gonna say I want my badge. I've been clean for 2 weeks. The attitude is getting much better. I'm still short a little bit, snappy, but it's getting there. It's a process.
Every couple of days, people. Every couple of days.
Yeah, it's a process. I gotta take 1 hour at a time because sometimes I could smell coffee. And before, I was never a coffee drinker. That's the bad part. It's not hot coffee that I like. I'm in love with the caramel, the iced coffee.
What?
Yes,
Man,
the iced coffee.
No.
The iced coffee.
No,
So yeah, that was my addiction because it, the sweetness and it's cold because it's too hot to drink coffee.
Hot.
No,
Coffee.
I used to think the same thing until you taste
I
it.
still think the same. Coffee's supposed to be hot.
Well, Barbara, thank you so
Thank you, Ms.
much
Barbara.
for sharing the information with us.
Thank
And
you very
I
much.
will get in touch with you first thing in the morning to get more information so I can make sure that I post, everything that I need. So, please donate what you can. Don't feel bad if it's 50 cents.
$1, anything
Like,
helps.
really,
Anything
don't.
helps. Anything helps.
All right, Miss Barbara, thank you so much and have a great evening.
Have a great evening, Ms. Barbara.
Thank you very much. Take care. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, everybody. So we've come to the end of the road for tonight. Thank you for joining us. As always, Kristen, I always appreciate the love. And thank you to everybody from Facebook, from K1NG Radio, K1NG Radio Instagram page. Thank you for all the compliments and the encouragement. Every day I have a struggle with doing this. And you would think I would be you.
She's a natural.
You would think I would be.
She's a natural.
Oh my God.
No,
Oh my God! You think I would be used to this by now? But every day I have a struggle with this.
Shows.
But when I remember all the comments and then the encouraging words, it makes me want to do it again and again.
I got to give a shout out to Daryl Rasmussen 23. He said, "Please continue to inspire." That's what we're here for, P. And I think.
Thank you so much for the compliment. Thank you.
Let me see something. Hold on, we're gonna try to go live. I'm gonna try to go live with somebody. I'm waiting for you, Daryl. Oh, Daryl didn't pick up. All right, so every week we're gonna try to go live with somebody. But I gotta say this before we go. I gotta give a shout out to my mom because about 4 years ago my dad had 2 aneurysms, and my dad is a great man, but my mom has been there to take care of him step by step. And I will tell you, if you don't have family members who care about you, it's gonna be difficult for people. That's why I say families. Sometimes when you have people that have certain things, you are that person. Like, that was a beautiful story you told about your cousin that could crochet. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to, because a lot of these people, a lot of the members from Clubhouse, there was one story where he was in a situation where he didn't eat on Saturdays and Sundays. And that's what I'm saying. Like, some of us, we take certain things for granted. So I remember he would leave there with about a sack full of Little Debbie's. And he would eat that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and would come back Monday and have like 3 big old bowls of cereal. And I think as a culture and as humans, we got to figure out a better way to do better. And at the end of the day, like I said, we're all here to try and inspire people. So, Daryl, thank you very much for your comment. And P, you're doing a great job.
I want to thank 2 people. I want to thank my 20-year-old, Zaria. Zaria is a wonderful kid. Like, I love her to life.
She got high I know.
Yes, she really helps me with the show as far as getting my music together and my intro, patching everything up, helping me edit the videos. I also want to thank Norma, Mr. Hickman's wife. Mr. Hickman's wife is a nurse. She has 2 kids. And thank
3.
you so.
Including me.
Oh yeah, 3. Thank you so much, Norma, for not allowing Chris, but for letting me take him away from family time in the evening.
I wouldn't be here without.
So thank you, and it's 1 hour, but that 1 hour helps. It would be able to help you at home. But thank you so much for sharing him with me to do this journey that I'm telling you it's of God. That's all it is. Because if I had a choice, I wouldn't be doing it. But I know it's of God. I know I have a purpose for this. But thank you so much. And Mama Hickman, let me tell you, Mama Hickman, I love her. That's my proofreader. When I'm on I have fat fingers and I'm on the phone and I'm posting stuff, and she won't say you're wrong. She'll ask a question. You do mean 6:30 p.m. and not a.m., right? So I know that means I made an error to correct it. So Mama Hickman, thank you so much for being, our what state is she in again?
Georgia. We in Georgia.
Thank you so much for being our Georgia proofreader. I love you for that, and thank you so much for encouraging Chris and I. Thank you for always sharing your concerns, because when you share your concerns with Chris, he speaks to me about it. So thank you so much. Your input helps a lot, and it helps us to grow as individuals, and it helps us to correct things or improve on areas that need improvement. So we listen to you, and I want to say we love you. And until next week, we'll see you. Thank you, everyone.
I'm going to try to go live with one other person. We're going to see it. Why is it when we try to go live with people, they don't pick up? You know what? Next week, we're going to make a challenge.
We'll get with management so we can find out, we'll get with management.
First person you go live with, we're going to give a $10 Publix gift card to, so I bet somebody will go live then.
Okay. Yeah, we could do that.
All right, people. Have a good night. Stay safe.
And I forgot, this month, did you know this month is Native American month?
I did not.
Yes, this month is Native American month. So, we trying to get into all cultures and celebrate everybody. So we're learning. So, just, bear with us. We might be almost halfway through the month, but bear with us. We're learning.
We're coming.
All right, everybody. Good night, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.